On the 6th week of Dana White's Contender Series, we find ourselves in the featherweight division. We have Stephen Nguyen. He is taking on AJ Cunningham. Both these guys very similar records, both 4-1 in the last 5. They both have a very similar level of experience with different skill sets. We're going to break this down. Stephen Nguyen, this is his 3rd time on the Contender Series. Won 1, lost 1. First loss was he was doing pretty well in that fight. I must admit that, but then he got knocked out in the 3rd round. Second one, he won the fight, but he just didn't show enough. He was content to kind of just get the win and not so much make it like put a stamp on the rounds, things like that. So he didn't get the contract. So here he is for a 3rd time. Stephen Nguyen, he is a solid striker. He's got a very clean 1-2, very steady volume. He just kind of keeps it coming, pours it on, and he mixes his combinations with his single strikes. So sometimes he's throwing combos, sometimes it's a single strike, and you're kind of always guessing, and it gets guys to kind of move a little bit differently and open things up for him. He's got good kicks to all levels, and he's also really good at countering his opponent's leg kicks with a heavy cross. So he's a very polished striker, very good there. In the grappling, he's actually got good grappling skills as well. He just prefers to strike. He does have those long, skinny choking arms, which are a great tool for him, and he is very hard to hold down. If he used his grappling a little bit more, we might have a little bit more to say about it, but he doesn't prefer to use it, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time there. But the red flag for him, the thing that didn't get him the contract last time, is he doesn't really have that killer instinct. And I don't believe he's fought since then, so that is kind of alarming. But either way, Stephen Nguyen, very talented, very polished striker. Let's look at AJ Cunningham. Now, he's also a good striker. He's got a lot of power. He's got combinations. He counters back when people hit him, and he's always coming forward. And then when he gets hit, boom, then he throws a shot right back, does not care. That is impressive, and it's important because a guy like Stephen Nguyen is used to being the cleaner striker, getting guys to cover up, things like that. But he could have trouble with a guy that can just eat the shot and then fire back, because even if you're the more polished striker, if the other guy doesn't care and they're launching bombs back and they're durable enough to take that damage, sometimes the cleaner striker can't handle that pressure and does get overwhelmed. We've seen it before. It does happen. So that is what Cunningham's going to need to do on the feet if he wants to get the win that way. Like I said, though, he does have not the best striking defense because he's willing to eat those shots and fire back. He's quite durable, though. But the problem is as the fight goes on, he starts to swing just a little bit more wild. And that's not something you want. Now, sure, his striking isn't as polished as Nguyen's even at the beginning. But as the fight goes on, he does get a little bit more wild, and that can cause him trouble. He does have good wrestling, though. The takedown defense is not there, so he can get taken down, but the offensive wrestling, he's pretty good. He's got good sweeps. He can get the takedowns. He's going to take your back and try to get you out that way. But the thing is, he's very tough to sub. I've seen this guy in some deep, deep submissions while I was doing the tape study for this, and he just doesn't tap out, and he somehow gets out of them. Don't know how he does it. Dude's tough as nails, and he's never out of a fight. Here's the thing. I switched my Tapology pick because I feel like we're probably going to end up getting a decision, and I think in a decision it's going to go to Nguyen. So my official pick is Stephen Nguyen. But I've bet AJ Cunningham because he's a big underdog. I don't know why that marker just fell, but it did. He's a big underdog, and I think he's got a real path to victory here just by coming forward, being that dog that he, showing that skill and coming forward and landing. Now, of course, Stephen Nguyen is in my full card parlay because I always do that. I throw my whole card together for a small parlay. But you counter that by betting on AJ Cunningham because he's a big underdog, and I do think he gets it done. You could probably bet on him by knockout if he is going to get it done because that's what I would see happening. Just overwhelming. So the official pick is going to be Stephen Nguyen, but I could also be swayed. And if you've got a good argument for Cunningham, I'd love to hear it in the comments because I've gone back and forth on this one, and a lot of people don't seem to think so. A lot of people are saying that Nguyen is an easy pick. I don't think so at all. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Hit the like on the way out, and I will see you in the next one.